Look at that. Look at all these RVs. Not these. We're looking at the Sonics.
Oh.
And not the Sonic lights. So we're gonna walk past all these. I think this is the one that I looked at.
Which one are we buying today?
Nothing.
Oh.
I'm gonna say it loud so no salesperson bothers us. So if you've been following along on our journey last year, you know that we ended up purchasing a Jayco hybrid travel trailer. We actually had a short list of trailers that we were looking at. We had some specific requirements that we really wanted to meet, especially given our tow vehicle. So let's just start with what our criteria were, and it really came down to 4 key things. First is that it needed to be able to fit all of us. And at the time, by us, it was me, Michelle, and our 3 pets, 2 dogs and a cat, that we brought on our trips. For 2021, we needed a travel trailer that was going to fit us, our pets, and now a new baby, and have enough room. And the hybrid trailer really helps us to be able to be future-proof in terms of being able to accommodate additional bodies on top of what we were already traveling with. The second part is that there had to be enough separation between the sleeping area or the actual bedroom area and the living space. I typically wake up earlier than her, and she doesn't like to be disturbed, so I try to go farther away into our living space and do my thing without bothering her as much as possible. Our hybrid trailer now has a little curtain that you could pull so that no light can get through, which is great, and that allows her to get a bit more sleep than I usually do. The third thing is that we wanted to have both a dinette and a sofa for seating. Obviously, they're always available in the larger travel trailers, but given the size that we were looking at, it really started to whittle down to a select few. And obviously, when we're talking about size, we wanted to keep the dry weight or the unloaded vehicle weight at under 4,500 pounds. Keep in mind that our Dodge Durango's towing capacity is 6,200 pounds, so the maximum that we really wanted to tow was around 80% of the capacity, which is roughly around 5,000 pounds. We figure if we start at around 4,500, we probably won't carry like 500 pounds of stuff, but still make room for water if we need to. And also the tanks as well. So those 4 were the main criteria. Let's just take a look at the short list that we were working with. So the first trailer that I'll talk through is the Apex Nano by Coachman. The floor plan or model number is 213 RDS. It has I think it's probably a 2-person dinette, but then it has a sofa as well, and that creates like a corner living space. We like the floor plan, but there are a couple things that made us a little bit hesitant. First is that when you have a bathroom that's built into the middle portion of the travel trailer, it tends to take away a lot of the width of the trailer itself. So yes, it did create a nice hallway for you to walk through and create nice bedroom separation, but you don't really have as much space in living as we do now with our hybrid trailer. From a weight perspective, it came in nicely under the maximum that we were looking for, and it definitely had enough room to fit us and our pets at the time. But now that we have Jackson along, I don't know that there's enough space for us to put his stuff down and to have enough like space for us to maneuver around the trailer, and so that's why we kind of walked away from this one once we discovered the Jayco hybrid trailer though. The next one that we looked at was the Keystone Bullet 221 RBS floor plan. And the reason we looked at that one is because of the white cabinetry, and Michelle really liked that. If you watch our walkthrough videos of our trailer, you know that Jayco's modern farmhouse decor was really what drew Michelle in. I think that the light cabinetry, that's a trend that's picking up in the industry right now, and Keystone's Bullet, their 221 RBS floor plan, was one of the first ones that we really liked. you'll see that the first thing I noticed is right in the entrance to the left of it is a space that we could easily store kitty stuff right up there, so that Henry can't get to it, the dogs can't get to it, but Kitty would have to figure out a way to jump from the kitchen counter up to that area. But at least it's a space for her to kind of just settle in, which we really liked. Also on the shower front, rather than a curtain, it has a glass enclosed shower. I think I mentioned an enclosed shower as part of our wish list, so this was really nice. The downside to the Bullet is that it had a single dinette. It was a larger dinette, which is great, but then that dinette was right next to the queen bed. And then if you look at the floor plan, the TV is also right next to the bed, which is great because then you could pivot the TV, you could watch in bed, and then you could also watch from your living space. But again, with Michelle wanting that separation, this ended up not being the plan that we went with. Okay, so the next floor plan that I'll talk through is kind of a really popular floor plan across the industry. I think if you look at any manufacturer, they'll have a floor plan that's similar to the one that I'll talk through. And this is the Wildwood x-lite 241 QB-XL. It's a pretty common floor plan. When you walk through the entryway, you're met with a couch, and then over to the left you have a dinette. Over to the right you have your bedroom, if you will, and a queen size bed. There's a divider there that separates the queen bed from the rest of the living space, which is nice. And as far as TV is concerned, it can be positioned relatively far away from the bed itself. The only downside that we saw with this was that there was no slide out, and so everything was contained within the 8-foot width of the trailer, and we felt like it was just too tight for us, especially when we're gonna have like 3 pets running around. There's just not enough space. We're gonna be tripping all over each other. So that's the reason why we didn't go with this particular floor plan. All right, and the last one that I'll talk about is Venture Sonic's 231 VRL, and that's also the one that we looked at when we went to Los Angeles March of 2020, just before like kind of COVID blew up. We couldn't find that particular floor plan here in Minnesota, so when we were flying out to LA, I deliberately looked up to see if there were dealers in the area that actually carried it, and we found one that was about an hour outside of where we were staying, and we were able to take a look. Very similar to the Apex Nano 213 RDS floor plan. Once you walk inside, you're met with seating on your immediate left. In this case, with Venture, they put the sofa on your left with panorama windows, and then also you have a dinette that's opposite of you. They had a really good placement of the entertainment center. Michelle really likes the bathroom in between the bedroom and the living space, so that whenever I do wake up early, I could just shut the door and she wouldn't be bothered by my moving around. The only downside for this particular floor plan is a couple things. First is the width, and how Venture is able to create these ultra light travel trailers is that the width is 7.5 feet as opposed to 8 feet on our hybrid travel trailer. That's how they shave weight off, because you're losing less materials. And then also, it's not really future proof in our minds, right? So as Jackson grows, and if we were to have another kid, we have to figure out where to put them. Whereas in the Jayco, we have another bed, we have another sleeping area up front where we could just put the kids as they grow up. So we wouldn't have to worry about it. We have a whole nother bedroom basically in our hybrid travel trailer that's being unused right now. And so as the kids grow older, it really allows us a lot of longevity in that trailer. So those are the 4 floor plans that were on our short list before we found the Jayco Jayfeather X23B. You can find my videos highlighting that particular floor plan just within the channel. But I hope that if you're in a similar position as we are, you like traveling with pets, you have maybe a couple younger kids, or you want to have kids and you want something, that could last you a while. There are some good options here, but ultimately we decided to go with the hybrid travel trailer. It obviously has a lot of what we're looking for and some things that we would love to have in the future. So ultimately, these were the floor plans that were on our short list. Feel free to take a closer look. Hopefully it'll inspire you guys with some different types of thinking. Good luck on your search either way, and we'll see you next time. Adios.